Hello and good morning. It's me, Bo Shevasu. It is August 25th and it is 11:50 a.m. Pacific. And we are here just south of Seattle, Washington. It's a gorgeous day and we have a fun show for you guys this lovely day. Today, I'm actually going to be talking about my top most helpful video reviews. Now, I have produced thousands of videos throughout my life. Of course, I have a hat that says Film Crew, so if I show up to your neighborhood, you'll know that I'm a professional. Plus, I have a shirt that says Knox Studio on it. Plus, I have a bow tie. And for those of you who don't know me, when I'm in my professional realm, I wear a bow tie. And that's simply because my name is Bo. That's called branding. So today, we are going to be talking about my top 10 most helpful videos. Now, there are hundreds of these video reviews that I have produced and put all over Amazon. And a lot of people wonder, okay, so do I have to slog through all of these videos, Bo, to find out which ones are the most helpful? No, Amazon is the king of metrics. As Jeff Bezos once said, if you want something to succeed, measure it. And so, early this morning, I was measuring what were my most helpful videos as indicated by the metric of how many people bought that product after they saw my video. Isn't that wonderful? And so I was easily able to drill down out of hundreds of videos. I think I'm well over 1,000, if not 2,000, I don't know. I've lost count. But you will be able to see not only the video itself because I have it here in the broadcast, but I'll be able to pause it and talk about a few of the fun intricacies and nuances, the behind the scenes, a director's cut, if you will, to add even more entertainment value and educational value to these videos. All right, but first, as you well know with any professional show, you need a bumper. Roll it.
Hello everyone, it is me, Bo Shevasu.
Hey,
are you ready
right
to see the first impression
review
of what I just framed? Of course you are.
Of course you do. Okay, so this right here is the American flat frame. And this is rather fascinating how many people actually saw this and thought it to be the most helpful of my videos. So yesterday, this sold the most. Oh, you can say, wait, I gotta pause it right here. I gotta pause it and actually show you this. So these prints right here, you can print off from some government website. And they have these old topographic maps of certain metropolises. Is that a word? Is it metropolises or metropoli? I don't know. If you know, go over to the Amazon Live and let me know in the chat whether it's metropolises or metropoli. Which, by the way, syllabus, you think it's syllabi, don't you? That's correct. But there's also another variation that's plural, and it's syllabuses. And so in college, I used to troll my professors by saying, sorry, did you just pass out all the syllabuses? Just to kind of throw it out there, just to see if every time, if the professor didn't, there was someone nearby me who hissed, it's syllabi. And that's not necessarily the case. Go ahead, look it up, syllabuses. All right, so this right here, this frame, I like to actually show people what I'm doing outside of the studio space. That's what makes my channel very different from a lot of influencers out there, which I really don't like that word. It's like it's manipulating people's emotions into buying something that you don't want to buy. I just like to show things that work. And in this particular case, I got this really cool topographic map of this area in Enumclaw, Washington. Let's go ahead and play it. And I like to actually show people what this frame looks like, how it's actually working. And it's not real production value. I'm just kind of using my iPhone. You can actually probably even see in the reflection that I'm just holding my phone. All my professional equipment is hooked up in my studio right here. And then I dismantle it and I go out and I do real estate shoots for wonderful folks such as Todd, Huizinga, and other wonderful real estate brokers around here in the area. So this frame right here, you do have to kind of do a bit of putting together, but it showed up unbroken, which that was my number one thing, is this gonna show up in pieces? But no, it's very, very well packaged and very high quality feeling. And so it comes with a bunch of, well, okay, a quick thing right here. A commentary on packaging. Now, I see a lot of people saying, Bo, there's too much packaging in these products. And I want to actually give you a behind the scenes, a look into the world of an Amazon seller, okay, for just a moment, because I wear many hats. I do. One of them is actually producing these videos for you guys. And another one is knowing how to sell on Amazon. Now, consider this for a moment. Consider that you put the minimal amount of packaging that surrounds this glass that you sell here on Amazon. Just minimal packaging. And because of that minimal packaging, you might have 1% of those items show up and the glass is broken, right? Okay, well, great. Now someone gets a broken glass in the mail, they're all mad, and they get on and they write a 1 out of 5 star review, even though it's just like 1% of people, which you might not think that's even worth bothering. But believe me, if 1% of people are angry at you for a broken glass, they will tell you about it. And that will eventually undermine your sales. And so that glass right there that could have been properly protected with an obscene amount of packaging, and packaging is absolutely dirt cheap in these factories. So let's say that you spend an extra 10 cents on an obscene amount of styrofoam and cardboard and those little balloons that you get in your Amazon boxes that just are so much fun to step on and pop, and they make your wife go, "Will you stop it? It sounds like a firecracker going off in the house." It's just something therapeutic about those. But you see where I'm going with this, where 10 cents worth of packaging, yes, it's annoying for the environment, absolutely. It can be somewhat annoying for the consumer. However, what's more annoying for a consumer is to get a broken product, and that broken product has more of a detrimental impact on your sales. You might get 1 out of 1,000 people complaining about your packaging, but that's better than having 1 out of 100 people getting a broken product because of that lack of packaging. Does that make sense? So it all has to do with how economical packaging is. And until the powers that be and Mr. Bezos comes along and wags his finger and says, you cannot use this much packaging, people will just continue to throw as much as possible into a box to mitigate that risk of that 1% that experiences a broken product showing up in the mail. Fascinating, huh? Okay, so there's a little commentary on that. Let's continue with this American Flat 12 by 18 frame. Now, you can get a 12 by 18 print printed off at Costco, for example, for really cheap. So you can effectively turn your house into a gallery. Oh, this is actually rather key also. What I'm talking about right here is it's plexiglass. So if you're in an earthquake-prone environment and this thing falls, it's not going to shatter all over your floor. As a matter of fact, since we have kids, we have all sorts of instances of this stuff falling all over the place. So there you go. There's a little behind the scenes, and there you go. I'm talking more about the packaging. You don't care about that. But point being, it comes well packaged. And there's a reason why these frames are a top seller here on Amazon. And it's just rather interesting that people thought this video was the most helpful. But there's a little behind the scenes. Fascinating, huh? Hey, let's move on to, oh, this is a fun review, everybody. This is a fun one.
I spent a bucket load of money to buy the top-selling carbon monoxide detectors on Amazon. And I'm going to tell you my big takeaway. Well, I'm going to remove all of my existing carbon monoxide detectors, and I'm going to replace it with this one brand. Let's hop into the test. All right, guys, do you want to see something incredibly rednecky and yet kind of genius? Hello, little minions. I am coming to you today.
Okay. All right. I don't know how I'm allowed on the internet. So these are carbon monoxide detectors. What I did was as you can see, it's behind my truck. And you see where this is going, right? So I got the top selling carbon monoxide detectors and I put them inside this relatively well-sealed container. I kind of wanted to see inside. So I put this plastic wrap over these top 5 carbon monoxide detectors. And then in the back, you can kind of see in the upper right of the box, that little black spot. I cut out a hole and I stuck the exhaust pipe of my truck into here. And because I was so frustrated with all of these reviews, because I'm like you, I wanted to get on and see what detectors are just bogus, because there are a lot of factories out there that claim these things work. And until the heat of the moment comes, you get it, heat of the moment. That's clever. That's good. Oh boy. So that's why you should follow me on Amazon Live, by the way. It's not only educational, but it's entertaining. So I wanted to simulate a ton of carbon monoxide being pumped into these. And most reviews out there show this spray can of carbon monoxide and they just kind of spray it on it and it goes tss. And that might work, but that's pure stuff. And I wanted some carbon monoxide with, how do you say it, the particulates, like moisture in the air, other contaminants, because from my limited research, I'm no scientist here, but what I gather is these sensors in the carbon monoxide detectors, they can get plugged up with dusts, with dirt, with moisture. And in the event of you having this poisonous gas in your house, there's probably going to be other contaminants in the air. And I want to know if those contaminants will undermine the efficacy of these carbon monoxide detectors. So let's go ahead and play it.
With the top 5 carbon monoxide detectors. Yes, as you can see, it is plugged right up against my truck. Now, there's a lot of people out there saying this is not a good test because there are other particulates such as moisture coming out of your exhaust, and those could clog up some of the sensors. I don't know about you guys, but I want that. I want to know if the sensors might get obstructed by something like, let's say, for example, moisture. And so that's why I am testing this real world situation. You can see the exhaust pipe is coming in through that hole, and it's gonna fill up this whole thing instantaneously when we turn on my truck. We will see which ones go off, which ones do not go off, and you'll be able to see based off of the little blinky lights on each of them. Here we go. And it just died. Up there doesn't even have a oh wait, oh, there it goes. They're not actually, oh wait, one's finally going off. Boy, that took a while. First of all, this in the lower right, the Kitty smoke and carbon monoxide alarm, that went off before any of the others. And then the second two that kind of went off almost at the same time was this one right up here, also made by Kitty, a carbon monoxide alarm. And then the other one, carbon monoxide alarm, Kitty as well. Those pretty much went off almost at the exact same time. Xsense right here, that did not go off at all. In addition to First Alert, smoke and carbon monoxide alarm didn't go off at all. So as you can see, the Kitty brand does actually work. All 3 of them did. Hopefully this ragtag field test will save some lives out there. I don't claim to be a scientist. I'm not getting a clean, pure bottle of carbon monoxide and spraying it into the sensors, and that's purposeful. I wish that there were more dirty field tests like this out there, telling everybody, well, you know, what if there's particulates in the smoke, or in this case, the moisture pouring out from the exhaust in your car?
Yeah, I have to pause it right there because they start to go off again. I really messed up these carbon monoxide. They're not designed to be stuck right up against the back of an exhaust in a vehicle, because there's a lot of moisture that comes out of a vehicle's exhaust. But, well, let's say that you have a car running and outside, and somehow this gas seeps into your house along with the moisture from that exhaust. Wouldn't you want to know whether a detector would go off or not? So this was incredibly informative, not just for other people out there, as indicated by these are some of the top selling carbon monoxide detectors now, but it was just informative for me and my family. I wanted to know if these others would even chirp for a second. They didn't. So I have it highlighted in the carousel down below if you're here on Amazon, the X-Sense. I really wanted that one to work because that one had a 10-year battery life. I'm like, yes, thank you. Finally, I don't have to babysit this thing. But nope, didn't even go off. And the first alert, which has an incredible amount of reviews, 7,900 reviews. I don't know if there's other people out there who have tested this and maybe had better results. Didn't work for me. So thank you, Kitty or Kide or Kide. I don't really know how it's pronounced. It's one of those trademarks that's probably made up just to try to distinguish them from the rest of the world. But point being, it works. The Kitty ones worked wonderfully. As a matter of fact, I actually bought another one of their products, and it turned out to be another one of my top selling products. And we're about 4 reviews away from that one right there. This is a fire ladder, and I put my life on the line so you don't have to. And I throw this ladder out the window to see if it would work. Some elements did work, and some elements did not. I was rather surprising. Spoiler alert, may not work very well with kids. Ooh, I'll cover that in my actual review. But there you go, guys. Stress test of these top 5 carbon monoxide detectors, and I was just fascinated that the X-Sense and First Alert ones, they didn't perform at all. They didn't even chirp. It's like, man, oh boy. Okay, so hey, now we're gonna move on to how to iron your clothes. Oh boy, this is a funny one. So these right here, if you've never heard of these are steamers, and I like to demonstrate side by side. On the right one, it's not very good. I'm not even going to highlight that one. But what I'm talking about is this High Life, misspelled High Life. That's cute. So the High Life one is the one on the left, as you can see, and it has a longer cable. It has more capacity, heats up pretty much just as fast, less than 2 minutes, and the water is boiling in there. And what you do is you get this cup, which they provide, which is awfully nice. You fill that up, you spill it everywhere, and then you put this top on, plug it in, wait a little bit, and then it basically starts burbling and boiling like a tea kettle. And then you're going to take that steam, and that steam pours out of the front. I'll show you in just a second. And that steam sucks out most of the wrinkles of your garments. And so, there we go. It's boiling, as you can see. See, isn't this nice? You don't have to wait forever for me to sit here in the studio, but I cut this B-roll so that, yeah, to save you time. You're welcome. All right, so this other little guy, it doesn't have a brush so that when you push it up against your garment, it can make your garments kind of soggy. We don't want that. We want the High Life one, which actually comes with a little attachment, and it forces you to stay about an inch away from your garment. See that black brush on the end, right? And so as you gently pull that down, you do want to be gentle. You don't want to press up against the wall, because behind this is my drywall. And well, it's dry for a reason, hence why they call it drywall. It's not wet wall. And so you don't want steam going too much on your wall, even though it is a bathroom and it's probably used to steam, but this is hot steam, and you don't want to be taking the paint off of your bathroom like you do after eating Taco Bell. Informative and entertaining. Be sure to follow me here on Amazon. I appreciate that. All right, so I like to do a side-by-side comparison. As you see, I've been working on the right, and if you look over on the left-hand side, you can kind of see some dimples over there. No, not wrong side, Bo. Come on, Bo. Can you hear me? Let's go ahead and see the left side. And yeah, well, the right side is looking much better. That's nice. It's not perfect. I would say it's better to get an ironing board. Oh, look at that. Oh, that just looks so tacky. That is not professional, right? Now, in the morning, if you have 45 minutes to get your ironing board out, get your iron out, get all your clothes out and put them on the ironing board, that's the best possible way of sucking these wrinkles out of your clothing. But if you are like my wife, for example, who really enjoys her sleep and doesn't necessarily want to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to her 8 a.m. shift, she gets up and she can throw this thing on the kettle. Seems like it's a kettle, huh? Actually, you could probably use this to make some tea as well, since it's clean boiling water. Interesting. But anyway, so my wife wakes up and she uses this to suck all the wrinkles out of her scrubs or other professional attire before she goes off to the hospital. She works at the hospital and she doesn't, yeah. I just want to make sure that I say she works at the hospital, because some people say, "Where's your wife?" And I'm like, "She's at the hospital." And they go, "She okay?" And I forget. Well, yeah, she's been working there for 10 years. Of course she's okay. Sorry, I should have mentioned that she's not going to the hospital because there's something bad. Boy, Bo, you seem really cavalier about the fact that your wife is at the hospital. She's supposed to be there making money so that I can live stream. Don't worry, I'm making more money than she is right now because this is fun and entertaining and informative. All right, so this fascinating high life steamer, it wraps up, you put it under your vanity, put it under your sink, and when you need it, just unravel it, and in less than 5 minutes, you've got steaming water, and you are ironing that probably one garment. I wouldn't do this with a lot of garments. It would take forever at that point. Just get your ironing board out, or go to the dry cleaners, which I haven't been to the dry cleaners forever. When was the last time you've been to the dry cleaners, right? Also, how can they clean something in a dry way? Have you ever thought about that? I'd really like to go do a documentary at a dry cleaners and see how they use that silicone solution to slosh and get in the clothes, and how silicone is still wet, like this liquid. So wouldn't it be silicone cleaning instead of dry clean? I don't know. It's a mystery to me. Maybe they do use water and it's just false advertising. Beats me. Okay, hey, let's move on to my other most helpful review. Oh boy, this one has been taking off like wildfire. I think Fiskars should probably give me a cut of this weeder. Check it out. All right, we're gonna see if a child can do it. So first she has to identify exactly where the middle is. So let's lift this up and put it right in the middle. All right, go ahead and smash that down all the way, smash it down. Good job. Now, the more you tilt, the more it pinches and closes like this. So she's gonna tilt it. Nice.
And let's see if there's a root. Bam.
Got a lot of... Isn't she just adorable? Bam! It got the root. So yes, this is my daughter. This is Penelope. Yes, I do have consent to have her here on this live stream. So if there's any Amazon Live moderator out there, yes, I am complying with the terms of service and whatnot. But I wanted to show from a kid's perspective how easy it is to rip dandelion roots out of the lawn. Now, some people out there like their dandelions because they're basically like lettuce and they're rather nutritious. Isn't that interesting? It's true. I don't know much about foraging, but I do know that. But if you don't want to eat the weeds, you can pull them out and throw them in the landscaping bin. And a lot of people out there don't like to go around on their hands and knees throughout their entire lawn trying to pull out dandelions. Instead, you can contract with a child and pay them 10 cents a weed and say, go out there with this Fiskars weed puller and they can do it. Or you can do it too. You don't need to use child labor. That's not a laughing matter. But my children working and doing chores, that's a laughing matter. All right, so if you don't like to be on your hands and knees, and this is a fantastically economical and efficient way to pull weeds out. So check this out. When you push that right there, it ejects the weed. I'm going to show one more instance of this with my other daughter, who's 9 years old. Well, as of the making of this video, she's probably 8. So the key is to find just over the root. And so those teeth go in, and then the more you pull, not up, don't pull up, but you have to pull down. And that leverage clamps those claws around. So the more leverage you have going down, the more it clamps around that root. Isn't that a fascinating invention? There is another weed puller out there called like my grandpa's weed puller. It's of a similar design, but it's kind of, well, you can tell some farmer 80 years ago invented it, and they have progressed with the design tremendously, allowing you to use this ejector feature, for example. Like just yesterday, I wasn't even weeding because there are no weeds allowed in my lawn anymore. And I basically picked up apples, because we have an apple tree and they all fell, and I don't know, it has a disease of some kind. I'm a horrible farmer. So I picked up apples with this thing and I just smashed it on the ground and it stuck in the teeth. And then I used the ejector to shoot it off into my landscaping bin. It was so much fun. So not only weeding, but picking up rotten fruit in your yard so that it doesn't attract hornets when your kids are playing out there, because hornets like sweet, juicy, rotten fruit. That's how I got stung when I was a kid. I worked at an Asian pear orchard, and there was a hornet behind a rotten Asian pear. I reached up and I grabbed it, and the hornet came out, stung me right on the lip. Stung me right on the lip. And then I had to spend 6 weeks in lip rehab with this kid named Oscar, who got stung by a bee right on the lip. And by the time he was healed, I found out that he could only speak, what is it? Polish. And yeah, that's how I learned the word for lip. Usta. Let's see if this auto closed captions actually gets usta. No, it thinks it's booster. I need to tell it that I'm going to be speaking Polish at some point. Usta. Usta. Come on, closed captions. Booster, booster. Oh no. Booster. Now Dr. Fauci's going to get notified by Google that I'm talking about boosters, and he's going to come and knock on my door. Hey, we heard that you were talking about boosters on your live stream. No, I was talking about usta. It's Polish for lip. I didn't really get stung by a bee right on the lip. I got stung on the quad. All right, hey, let's move on to another one of my top most helpful reviews. This one is rather fascinating because this was up at a ski resort here called Crystal Mountain, just up the road from me. It's a wonderful place. And I saw this and I made hot chocolate using this. And I was so blown away at how well it worked. I did a video. I know it's shameless. I know I'm supposed to be out vacationing with my family, having good family time, but I was like, Liz, this thing is so cool. Can I do a video? So check it out.
Hey guys, we're in a yurt. Check out this fantastic water dispenser. We just made hot chocolate out of it.
This little water dispenser was so darn cool I had to make a video of it. So yes, we got hot chocolate out of this thing. You'll see that the hot water is dispensed by kind of sliding that switch to the side, and that's to kind of just prevent little kids from just coming up and pushing that down, getting hot water coming out of there. And of course you can get regular temperature and cold water as well. And of course you got a little tray, and let's take a look at the inside, shall we? So this is where all the clean, fresh water goes. You just put that little contraption on, goes through the tube up there. You do have to plug this in, of course. You do actually need electricity, so you can kind of see back here, it's just plugged in nicely right there. As for whether or not you want to have cold or hot, there are little rocker switches on the back, so you can completely turn off the hot water, for example, if you wanted to do that for some strange reason. But overall, it's user-friendly, perfect for consumers, looks fine, and the water tastes delicious. Hope this helps. Yeah, nice, huh? Isn't that helpful? It's just a short and sweet 110-second video that I videoed here up at this yurt at Crystal Mountain, and I saw how easy it was to make hot chocolate, and I thought, I wonder if this is sold on Amazon, and lo and behold, it is. So the employee there was super chill, and I was like, is it okay if I open this thing up and exploit your business? No, I like to give these businesses a shout out. So good job, Crystal Mountain, for offering an ability for families up on the ski slope to walk in and make hot chocolate and just have a little rest time before hitting the ski slopes again. So good on you, Crystal Mountain. Good on you for buying this Brio bottom loading, which is kind of funny, bottom loading. Oh, that makes sense. Instead of like, oh, okay. So the top loading water things, do you ever fill those up? We were just in Jordan and we had to lug these things up the stairs, and you just tip it upside down and it'd go, and it was rather heavy. And if someone doesn't have a very strong lower back to lug these things up the stairs, instead you can see on the left right there, all the jugs are right there. So all you have to do is drag that out and slide it right on in the bottom. And then you put that little contraption, that module with the tube, and it sticks right in there. How cool is that? Neat. Oh, by the way, that's a nice table. It kind of has a live edge on there. I like that. I wonder if they sell that on Amazon. I bet they do. Oh, I need to go back and make a video on that. Okay, hey, now we're going to be moving on to, oh, this is the fun one. This is the fire ladder. Ooh, all right. My favorite review. Okay, so if you are not on the Amazon chat, go on over there right now because I need you to troll me. I need you to offer me lots of compliments. It's good for the algorithm, by the way. If you're commenting on YouTube or Facebook, I have no idea what you're saying. You can say whatever you like, any kind of defamatory things. Okay, this one is fun. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, roll it.
It works. However, there's some vital hints, tips, and tricks that I need to pass on to you guys. Before you even start this video, before I show you the demonstration of how this goes together, you need to practice, because I was going through this with my kids. I was surprised to find a few things that they couldn't quite do, like pop out the screen or even unlock the window. It's a heavy window, or this is a surprise. Due to the design of this thing, once it's in position, look at this. See this gray tab? You have to pull that, which deploys that ladder, unfolding it all the way down like an accordion. However, I can reach it. I'm an adult. But for a kid, Penny, who's 6 years old, she couldn't reach it. Lucy could barely even grab it like this, even while standing on her sister's back to try to access that. So guys, this may not actually work for some people. I almost wish that the design, they made it a little shorter, like up here, so that the kids could actually grab that deployment rip tab and pull it, instead of all the way down here. They're doing this and they can't quite grab it. Their arms are just too short. So I hope they do some design changes here. Hello, Amazon.com, it's me, Bo.
All right, so this is the beauty of my videos, is because we had a cat right there and she nearly jumped out the window. Thank you, Strawberry, for not doing that. She wanted to demonstrate how dangerous it is to escape out of a window without a fire ladder. So this fire ladder is rather interesting. I was a little leery because, buying something on Amazon. Oh, by the way, look it out there. It's flooding in our backyard. Yeah, during the rainy season here in the Pacific Northwest, which is about 10 out of the 12 months. And I'm not saying that to complain. Everybody complains about that. It's wonderful. It makes things green and we get our own lakefront property in our backyard. All right, we're gonna play it right there. So this was really good for my daughters to, kind of workshop this, and working together. Telling them, using each other to pop up there. By the way, I was being very close to them. So Grandma, Grandpa, if you're watching this, I was watching my children very closely. But this was really good to just kind of talk through and not fully simulate with smoke and fire alarms going off, but give them some direction as to where they should go in the event of a fire. And so obviously, going out the window is probably not your first priority, but if the hallway is blocked by an incendiary device, then maybe you need to go out the window. You can see right there that it's hard enough to get that screen off. I tried to do it, and you might think, oh, a little 6-year-old can punch through that. Not necessarily. I mean, even me right there, I tried to pull it out, and that plastic tab fell off and just ripped off right in my hand. It's like, well, great. So there we go. I'm ruining my screen and putting that on the line to show you guys how this thing actually works and hooks onto there. And then later I'm actually going to show it being deployed from my deck and actually going down it. And you swing a lot if you're out in the air. It takes a lot of coordination to do that. All right, just got a strange text message from an area code 619 saying, "How are you doing?" I know no one from an area code 619. I'm real sorry. But if you comment here on the Amazon chat, I'll be able to actually type a response back to you. Oh, here we go. Is it going to go? Oh, it's all in position. all the way down. Oh, and there I am trying to go down, swinging like crazy. We're having so much fun. This is great. Oh boy, there's Strawberry. She tried to get out the window again. All right, let's take a listen.
Kind of instructions on how to put this thing back together after you deployed it. But at the end of the day, if you were to consider this like a fire extinguisher in that it's a one-time use, sure, might as well put it in your bedroom. It's easy to kind of fold up, stick in the closet. If you can afford it, might as well.
Yeah, so that was one last thought that I had about this thing, is that it's, for being rather expensive, well, I know it's only like, what, $45 here on Amazon, but I want to test these things and use them. And you would think that a ladder would be multi-use, but they fold it up in a special sort of way, kind of compact like an accordion, and they say it's a one-time use thing. I would really hope that it would be a multi-use thing, because I want to train with these things. I don't want to be in the heat of the moment, and all of a sudden be trying to learn how an object works. I know it's kind of the case with fire extinguishers, but even with fire extinguishers, I have purchased extra ones, or they have trainer ones that are relatively cheap, and you kind of get to the use of, you kind of get used to pulling that ring and squeezing it and, sweeping and not aiming it at the flames, but aiming it at the base and things like that, going through the ABCs, right? But this is such a unique object that I want to simulate and train as much as possible with this fire ladder with my kids. And so I went ahead and deployed it.
You need to
as
practice,
you can
practice,
see right
practice.
there. I'm going to show you one more time how I deploy this thing. And it was very difficult to get back and smash it back together. So if you think that you're going to get multi-uses out of this, here, let's go ahead and actually do it right there. You see that right there? We're going to play that again. And rip it, and it folds down. And rip it, and it folds down. Again, that spot right there is probably not the best spot, because you can see I'm going out into open space. Typically, you're going to be doing this out of a window, and you're going to be kind of up against the house, and that gives you stability as you're going down the house, as opposed to swinging, which you saw at the end of this video review. I'm just swinging out in thin air. So, in the 1 in a million chance that your house erupts in flames and you need to escape, and then the 1 in 5 million chances, just making up statistics here, that you can't actually get out, you need to get out the window, I guess so. Honestly, I would probably spend more money on carbon monoxide detectors or smoke detectors or fire extinguishers in every room than pouring resources into this very rare what if hypothetical situation that you need a fire ladder to get out the window. Now, it depends on the flow of your house. Maybe you have a room that's really segregated and it's off into the corner of the house and you really need another escape point. But for our house, we have a lot of exits. And so there you go. Real world example of this fire ladder. We had a lot of fun, and it was, I hope that was rather entertaining. And also I hope that it was informative. Hey, let's move on to one of my other top most sold products thus far. And this one's rather interesting because I noticed that a lot of people on this listing asked a question, and they said, what's the difference between these two sizes? And some listings on Amazon are just horrendous. It's almost as if someone who doesn't really speak English designed these listings. So, which I don't mean that in a judgmental sort of way. I actually am quite impressed when people can speak more than 2 languages. I can only speak 1. So I've resolved never to make fun of someone who has difficulty speaking English, because that means they speak another language, and that's cool, right? However, if you have a multi-million-dollar listing on Amazon, maybe spend $100 and hire a freshman in college to just go through your listing and ask them, does this make sense in your culture? it's worth the investment. And so what I did, I noticed that these covers that go over outlets had a lot of people confused about these. So these are really interesting inventions right here. This is in my kitchen, as indicated by the cups, as you can see. And this covers up the outlet, and it effectively has an extension cord attached to it. And on the end of that extension cord, there's like 3 outlets. So you're effectively adding an additional plug to an outlet. But the beautiful thing about this is that it gets the cords off of your countertop, because this white cord, I use that to kind of snake along the bottom of the backsplash all the way over, and I hide it behind my coffee maker. And so if you are someone who is into Martha Stewart or country living, you know the importance of hiding cables, which I don't think you should hide cables, because cables lead to toys, and therefore toys lead to fun. And the more cables you have, therefore means the more fun you have, right? That's my logic. However, my dear sweet wife, who keeps our house in order, she says that cables are ugly and we need to hide them. And so I, being the wonderful husband that I am, I purchased these things, and I noticed that they're in these 2 sizes, that the universal size and then the other sleek socket size, it's just the standard size. The standard size didn't quite cover the plates completely. And so for, you know, a few extra inches, if not maybe 1 more inch, it will guarantee cover your entire outlet. So all you need to know is with this thing, buy the universal, unless you have some really weird small plates on your wall and you can just cover them with the standard version. But this thing is really, really cool. We use them virtually every day, and it's nice because it just kind of hides your plugs. And see, that just plugs right in like so. Isn't that amazing? That's a great invention. And then so this is the universal kind. See how much it snugs up against the wall and it covers the plate completely. So there you go. Highly recommended if you don't want cables, and if you want to kind of accumulate, or that's not the right word, condense, that's the word. If you want to condense all your cables down to 1 cable and have that cable going along your backsplash, and then you can put all your cables into the end of this right here. See that right there? That's the end. So there's 3 outlets right there. Amazing, huh? Right? Cool. All right. Hey, let's move on to one of my surprising top viewed videos. And this I just bought a few days ago, and all of a sudden it's selling like hotcakes. And what I did was,
I wanted to compare these 2 side by side.
I wanted to compare them side by side. Both of these are top selling on Amazon. And here I am in my bathroom, and I wanted to know, okay, what's the difference between a Kitchen Pro and then the all-purpose cleaner? Because they're both supposed to kill COVID-19. Not that I'm freaking out about that, but you know, point being that you want to sanitize every once in a while your bathrooms and kitchen. It's just a smart thing to do. And so I personally would recommend going with the lemon scent, simply because it's more. Even though the Kitchen Pro, as you can see, it does come with 2 bottles, but they have the very exact same heads. And as I spray it, I try to describe the scent.
Spray pretty much covers the entire inside. It is key to let this soak for at least 2 minutes for the entire antibacterial disinfectant to actually take effect. But there you go. There's the main difference between these guys here on Amazon.com.
What I was mentioning in terms of the scent of these things, the lemon scent is very delicious and very nice. The Kitchen Pro is more like a fresh linen scent, which is also quite refreshing, quite nice. So if you like lemon, go for the lemon. If you think, ew, I don't want my bathroom to smell all zesty like lemon bread baking, then maybe go with the Kitchen Pro for your bathroom. Both of them supposedly disinfect just as well. But there you go. I was really actually quite surprised to see so many people who had a similar question. Apparently they have both in the cart, and they're like, what's the difference? The lemon one, you get more, 45% more, which is probably just a marketing ploy. They've probably always given that much, and they're just charging a bucket load more for that. I don't know. That sounds really harsh. I don't know. I shouldn't make fun of Lysol, but be sure to stock up for this before cold season and flu season hits you, and then you're not running to the grocery store during the next pandemic, which I hate that that word is being overused to justify not living. Oh, did I just say that? Oh, you just want grandparents to die. Nonsense. Protect the vulnerable, but champion liberty. All right, enough of that. I won't get political here. So point being, Lysol, it's a great thing to have in your household. And before it runs out during flu season, it's probably best to stock up here on Amazon. It's a great deal, great price, and there's a difference between those two. All right, hey, let's move on to Cargo Bar.
Release it. This is not intuitive. This is 60.
This is one of my favorite reviews ever. So that's my brother, who you just saw briefly at the beginning. Let's back up a little bit and see that.
Release it. This is not intuitive.
So that was my brother Dane, and I said, hey man, will you hold my camera? And he was nice enough to say yes. He is also an influencer here on Amazon, which again, I'm not gonna use that word to say that I'm trying to manipulate your emotions to buy things that you don't want, but this right here is, okay, if you have a pickup truck, just watch this and see if it would be helpful. If not, maybe you don't care about your groceries flying all over the place in the back of your pickup truck, but I do care. Watch this thing. I've had people walk by the back of my pickup truck, glance inside and say, what is that thing? That is so cool. Where do I get a cargo bar? And I'm like, it's $25 on Amazon. Technically $24.18. Check it out.
It is 63 inches wide, and I was wondering as I was looking at the Amazon listing, does this actually work on truck bed liners? Now, first of all, fascinating technology here. It's basically like your ratchet strap, similar to this ratchet strap right here. And this just opens up like this. Or if you didn't want to do this, which is gonna take forever, same with the ratchet strap, you can just pull this down like so and pull it out manually. So you pull it out all the way to there, and now it's up against. You just kind of hold it in place and gently start doing that like so. And
isn't this just the coolest thing ever, right? They should include these automatically in all pickup trucks. It's $24.18. They can afford to put this in every pickup truck. And so what's so cool about this, it's versatile. It's really easy to unlock and put into place. We used it just yesterday to keep some paddle boards in place when we went down to the lake. You can use it to deter thieves because a lot of thieves just are gonna, let's say that bucket in the back that I have right back there, it's got snow chains in it. That's actually locked down with a bike cable to deter thieves. I mean, if they really, really want some dirty tire chains, they can probably cut through that cable eventually. But when I put my cargo bar over that, not only does it keep that in position, so when I'm careening around the corner, driving very, very safely, it's not sliding all over the back of my pickup truck because this thing is kind of smashed down on top of it and it's keeping that in place. And so this thing, if you have an SUV, it'll work. If you have a large trunk in your car, this is excellent because you can just kind of move it around and position it. It just keeps things in place so that you're not driving along and you hear things rolling in the back and you're just thinking that's going to break or something's going to fly out. It helps keep things in position. And so as we continue with this review, I actually show you how to disengage it because it's not very intuitive, as indicated by the beginning of this video when I whispered, how do you disengage it?
have to kind of lift it up. And then watch this, 3, 2, 1. There it is. And we are disconnected. Wow, now you can organize your truck. And I think our neighbors have.
So I gotta pause it right there because our neighbors are drinking lots of root beer and having a delicious time with lemonade and iced tea, and it kind of threw me off for a moment. And so I need to pause it so that the Amazon Live moderators will not think that I'm going to be commenting on drinking anything besides soda, right? So they're having a fine time over there, and they were being a little rambunctious, and I most certainly did not go over there afterward and join them in having some root beer floats. So fun neighbors, love them dearly. So this Ratchet Cargo Bar is just a game changer. If you have a pickup truck, an SUV, if you have toys like wreck toys that you don't want sliding all over the place, this thing is so cool. Whoever invented this, I hope they have a nice house. And it's dirt cheap. It's $24.18. I would buy this thing if it was $98. So seller, if you're hearing this, this thing is an amazing invention. You have to be properly rewarded for this thing. I'm so blown away. And it's high quality too. My daughter Penny was in the back of this truck bouncing up on top of it. And I kind of went back there like, you're going to break it. And she said, well, I've been doing this for 15 minutes. And it was perfectly fine. So it's really high quality. Blown away. Great stocking stuffer. It's going to be awkward if you try to put that in a stocking. Hey, this other review right here, I was kind of surprised to see this one selling a lot of products. This is the Philips beard trimmer. Now, of course, I do have the ability to have a handsome beard, but I don't right now because when I do get a bushy beard, my wife says that it makes my upper lip all spiky. And then when I go and try to kiss her, she pushes me away and she says, no, I'm being attacked. And so, sometimes you need to buy something like this.
Hello, little minions. It's me, Bo Chevasu. Today, we are going to be experiencing together the unboxing of this all-in-one trimmer from Norelco. I don't know how it's pronounced, but typically, I use a little buzzy beard trimmer shaver, hair trimmer from Wahl, W-A-H-L, I think. They're kind of the leading brand when it comes to this stuff. But then this said this did not require oil. Actually, it says it right here. Unlike Wahl, no blade oil required. So this is rather interesting. Anyway, it comes with a nice...
So, what's interesting about these unboxing videos? Because for the longest time, I did not do unboxing videos. I thought it was just kind of, well, I want to see it working out in the field, right? I want to see it, trimming some guy's beard. But I think that a lot of people wonder what actually shows up in the mail. And there's also something kind of fun, almost kind of therapeutic. Goodness, I hope that people's emotions and happiness are not riding off of materialism, but there is something kind of fun about opening up a package and to see someone else experiencing it and kind of living along with them. It's kind of this new thing, unboxing. So for the longest time, I thought it was just ridiculous until I went to go and try to buy something and I was like, does it come with a charging cable? I wish there was an unboxing video on this thing. And I went to YouTube and I found it, and lo and behold, it did not come with a charging cable. And so that saved me 2 days having to wait to charge this thing because I just bought a USB cable with it. So that's just an example. This does come with a charging cable, but point being, an unboxing video can be very, very helpful. And so here's me right here going through all the little attachments. There's a nose trimmer.
Last one here, okay? So let's go ahead
and I show how it comes off like that and how that slips on like so. So this thing is very versatile. It's got, oh, what did I say?
There's a bit of oil on there.
Oh, there's oil on there, that's why.
Hey, that is pretty cool. Nice. That tickles. Man, that's cool. Well, now that there's nose hair trimmings all over my office, wanted to show you guys real world right out of the box what this looks like. I suppose I'm gonna go ahead and fully charge it now and plug that in, but hopefully this helps.
Yeah, isn't that cool? That is really cool. So, oh, there's the bumper right there. Let's go ahead and continue playing that. Yeah, there we go. That's it. That's it. You got to have a bumper. Got to. Yeah, that makes you professional. There we go. By the way, in case you're wondering, wow, was that you on your stomach getting handcuffed? It was me on my stomach being handcuffed. I have my good buddy Kelly say, hey, I've got some disposable handcuffs. Will you try these out on me? And boy, did he. Whew. I do a lot of BJJ, and it's just a lot of fun testing these things. I test taser knives and the actual taser batons. That's one of my top viewed videos on YouTube. And I think it's actually on Amazon too, because I bought all of these tasers off of Amazon. I say taser because that's technically the brand name, and a taser is an actual thing that goes out. These are stun batons. And I test the top 5 stun batons on myself. It was probably the most excruciating, painful video review I've ever done in my life. So if you're curious about that, go check out my YouTube channel if you'd like, or you can just probably search around the top tasers, stun batons, on Amazon. If you scroll down, you'll see my video of my buddy Kelly going at me. He's just laughing the whole time. Yeah, that one gets thousands upon thousands of views on YouTube every month because it's slapstick humor. You like to see when someone is experiencing how a stun baton works so that you don't have to experience it. And I describe each of them like, wow, that felt like a slight hornet sting. And then another one was like, that one brought me to my knees. And you can see whether or not it does. Oh, there's this one, it's this big baton. And if you just hit it on one side, it doesn't get you, but you have to actually connect the whole thing around. So I got both of my forearms and I went like this on the baton, and the whole thing just shot through me and I went to my knees. Oh man, that tingled for a long time. Yeah, that one hurt. But it's a big baton, and it's probably not the most conducive to having that in your vehicle for self-defense or anything. You know, people are probably looking for the smaller ones. And spoiler alert, I would not actually suggest stun batons for self-defense. Having taught self-defense, one of the most important things to do when you're up against an opponent is to manage the distance away from an opponent. And what a stun baton does is it requires you to get close to your opponent in order to deploy this thing, because you have to be touching someone in order to get shocked, as you saw in my wonderful video demonstration, if in fact you were to go look that up. So I would recommend something that would force you to keep your distance from someone. For example, mace, pepper spray, things like that. Like you can be 10 feet away from someone and still be able to do that. And there are other wonderful instruments out there that can also stop a bad guy from a safe distance. I won't mention what they are because I don't want to offend any Amazon Live moderators right now, but there you go. All these things can be wonderfully legally purchased on Amazon. You can go check them out. And that pretty much concludes our broadcast for today. If you want to follow me over on Facebook, I post all sorts of fun, irreverent things. And if you are watching on Facebook, be sure to hop over on that link on Amazon Live and click follow, because I appreciate you. That helps me in the algorithm, and that's pretty much the only thing I ask of you. And hopefully this live show today was beneficial in determining whether or not one of these top 10 most helpful reviews that I've produced in my life are helpful for you. I don't know. But with that, I am signing off right now. Remember, you are important. God loves you. I love you. That's it.